Thank you for joining us today for this very special occasion. I am Bea Hardy, Dean of Libraries and Instructional Resources, and I am pleased to welcome you to Salisbury University. We are here today to officially cut the ribbon on a facility that is the new hub of campus academic life, the Patricia R. Guerrieri Academic Commons. I'd like to introduce you to some of the people who made this project possible. With me on stage are Dr. Janet Dudley Eschbach, President of Salisbury University, Mr. Michael Guerrieri, representing the Guerrieri Family Foundation, Mr. Jim Brady, Chair of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents, and Delegate Adrian Jones, Speaker Pro Tem of the Maryland House of Delegates. Also joining us in the audience, I understand, are Maryland Senator Addie Eckert, Maryland delegates Carl Anderton, Chris Adams, Mary Beth Carrozza, and Charles Otto, retired Maryland delegate Norm Conway, Jack Heath of the Salisbury City Council, Ruth Jeffries of the Eastern Shore Higher Education Center at Chesapeake College, and members of the Foundation Board and Alumni Association. Other members of the Guerrieri family here today include Mr. Alan Guerrieri, Patty's husband, their children, Kathy Scott and Mary Beth Guerrieri and Nancy Walker, and several other family members, grandchildren, and friends. Thank you all for being here as we celebrate this tremendous new facility for our students, faculty, and staff, the greater community, and our state. I now have the pleasure of introducing you to Salisbury University's strongest advocate. Starting her 17th year as president, Dr. Janet Dudley Eschbach is the longest tenured female president in the history of the USM. Under her leadership, we've seen an unwavering commitment to excellence and success in everything from academics and athletics to several beautiful new facilities. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the leader of this Maryland University of national distinction, Dr. Janet Dudley Eschbach.
Thank you so much. It is so exciting for us all to gather here today to celebrate this momentous occasion in the university's history. Just over 3 years ago, many of us gathered one afternoon in the Great Hall of Holloway Hall for a special top-secret surprise announcement, and it was that members of the Guerrieri family had committed to an incredibly generous $8 million gift to honor Alan Guerrieri's beloved wife, Patty R. Guerrieri. Good decision to move inside, whoever made that decision. And I hope we're not violating the fire code here today. I don't know. Today, as we open the Patricia R. Guerrieri Academic Commons, I remain profoundly moved by their generosity, which helped make possible this truly transformational project. Patty was an avid learner and natural researcher. So it is only fitting that her memory lives on through a facility that will encourage so many students to explore, to create, and to learn. I had the good fortune to meet Patty and to get to know her briefly. And you know, it seems only like yesterday that she and I toured the campus on my golf cart. I hope that you will all take a moment to view the lovely portrait of her that was commissioned by the family from an Easton artist to hang in the lobby. The Guerrieris have immensely impacted our campus and the community over the years, and their continued support of Salisbury University is greatly appreciated. I'd like to remind everyone that this is the third building on campus that bears the Guerrieri name. Those who knew Patricia well affectionately referred to the late Patricia R. Guerrieri as Patty Lou. So I suggest that perhaps in conversations around campus we might refer to this magnificent new facility as the PLC. And I say that students and others are saying GAC. If you hear me saying PLC, you know what I'm talking about. It's for Patty Lou. For members of the Platform Party and members of the Guerreri family, we do have a special platform gift as a remembrance of today's ceremony. Looks like this, kind of heavy. It's got a piece of marble. So for members of the Platform Party and, again, members of the Guerreri family, you will find these gifts to my right against the wall. I'd also like to thank the Governor's Office and past and present members of the General Assembly for recognizing the importance of this critical facility. This $117 million building was only possible because of large allocations of state capital budget funds. And Chairman of the Board Brady and Delegate Jones, I want you to notice what a great job we do when those dollars for capital projects come forward to us. Just saying. He wrote it down. Delegate Jones, the university, you got it there as well? The university is very grateful for the legislature's continued commitment to higher education as we at Salisbury University empower students to become engaged citizens and meet the goals and workforce needs of our state and the nation. And while Senate President Mike Miller could not be with us today, he did send a very able representative, his daughter and SU alumna, Melanie Miller. Is Melanie here? Well, maybe she didn't make it either, but he did send us 2 daughters, okay? So we greatly appreciate their support as well. And I'd also, of course, like to thank the many donors who've given so generously to different parts of this academic commons. You know, Salisbury University, I tell students this, prospective students and their families, and I tell others, we are a wonderful hybrid. We count on the generous state support that we receive, but we would not be the university that we are today. We would not be competing with the nation's finest private institutions were it not for the private support that we get. So for all of the donors that are here, and some of you were recognized this morning at a brunch, please note that the names of the donors are found on the back of the program and throughout the building. We're still receiving some of those plaques to name different study spaces, and we hope that as you walk around, you'll take notice of those that have already been posted. So we're so grateful for that support. Located here in the heart of our campus, the Guerreri Academic Commons echoes the classic concept of the Anatheum in Greek and Roman societies, a place where intellectual, cultural, and social pursuits all come together. The difference with that old style Anatheum, of course, would be that ours is outfitted with state-of-the-art technology. I'm told that this is our most connected building on our campus, with over 600 computers and charging ports, a 400-seat assembly hall. I hope, again, we're numbering a little bit fewer than 400, with cutting-edge lighting and sound systems, 85 monitors for instruction and group work. The building also has 24-hour student study spaces and what we call a maker lab with 3D printing. Students also have access to over 200 online journals and electronic databases, some 10,000 e-books, and nearly 300,000 regular or old school books. And you can see as you came in today that our students have already moved in. And I will tell you, it is quite emotional, I'll say, for me, moving to see how this building is already being used. I came in several days ago. There's a wonderful cafe on the first floor, and I came in to try out the Dr. Janet burger, which I highly recommend. It's Each one has half an avocado on it, if you're an avocado fan. It also is very spicy, which I appreciate. So, but coming the other day, I marveled. You know, it wasn't so very long ago that I was in here really kind of very nervous. Would we be ready for today's ceremony? Would we be ready for the start of the academic year? We are about 98% there. There are still some people working in the building, and I'll talk about the Carillon in just a moment. But the students, it's like it's been here forever. The students have moved in, they've taken over. That's exactly what we wanted to have happen, and they love this building. Very exciting. As many of you know, the need for a new library was the primary motivator for this facility. I don't know how many of you pay attention to the rankings, whether it's the Princeton Review or U.S. News and World Report, but many years ago, I saw in one of those magazines, because they go around and they interview students when they establish those rankings, and I think it was in one of the U.S. News and World Report issues, a student said about Blackwell Library, "This is a library?" And there was like the top 10 worst things in the United States, and believe it or not, Blackwell made the top. That's not the kind of top 10 list you want to make. Blackwell had far less space than what was recommended for our collections, instruction, and seating, and it was really designed for a student body of about 2,500. And today we have about 8,700 students on our campus. So we did bring members of the General Assembly over to try to press for the need, and they walked in and they saw the dirt floor in the base. Yeah, we like to showcase some of the highlights that help make the case. And students were seated on the floor, and so we are really in heaven right now, I will tell you. Not only will the Patricia R. Guerreri Academic Commons be a sorely needed new home for SU libraries and the NAB Center, but it is now poised to become the epicenter, and some would say already has become the epicenter for faculty and student life and learning. According to Sasaki, one of our architects, after years of questions about relevance in the digital age, libraries, and I take this as a good sign, are in resurgence, reasserting themselves as the heart of the academic enterprise. And Salisbury University's Academic Commons is at the leading edge of this movement. And as planning progressed, we didn't just want to erect a bigger library. However, we wanted to really try to see how we could transform the students' learning experiences and change the dynamics of our entire campus as well. So the Patricia R. Guerreri Academic Commons unites many previously scattered academic services and programs, allowing students to find resources such as the Writing Center, the Center for Student Achievement, the Math Emporium, TRIO, and our IT help desk, all in one place. Our hardworking faculty benefit from the Office of Instructional Design and Delivery, as well as one of my favorite spaces. And honey, if I didn't tell you, my husband's here, we made a planned gift to the Faculty Center. Thank you, hon. It's good. Got to have a supportive spouse, as we all know. And in this faculty center, which we didn't have a faculty house, we didn't have a faculty gathering space. This faculty center will finally give individuals across disciplines a place to gather and collaborate. Similarly, a graduate commons will be a home for our growing numbers of master's and doctoral students. Inside, you've seen, as you came in, the soaring atrium and beautiful sunken, what we call the research commons, illuminated by skylights and a glass wall. The interior of the building, in a way, as you go out and take a peek, pays homage to our location on the Eastern Shore, with colors and textures of the beach and bay, and some have commented that the staircase, the grand staircase, was inspired by the silhouette of a blue crab. So use your imagination and see if you can see that. Our commitment to sustainability also continues with a green roof. The top of the building is a lawn of regional plants that act as a filtration system for runoff and help with interior cooling. This facility truly brings our campus community together. In addition to housing stacks of printed books, university archives, and special collections, it really encourages academic discovery and provides the technologies and the spaces necessary for success. It has quiet nooks for reflective research and thought. It has group study rooms and more classrooms for dynamic interactions. And the registrar tells me those classrooms are in very high demand. The Patricia R. Guerreri Academic Commons supports the ways students learn in the 21st century. Our legacy of providing community access to information and resources also continues with this facility. So we hope that you will come back and bring other members of the larger community to our new building. Come back for a lecture here in the Assembly Hall. Come back, board members, to our new meeting space with a terrace overlooking South Salisbury. Come back to view an exhibit or use the NAB Center, which has tripled in size and now has museum-quality archival space. Come back when our 48-bell carillon, generously donated by music lovers Bill Church and his late partner Samuel R. Brown, is played for the first time. Bill, where are you? Bill, thank you. You know, it was my dream that at the end of this ceremony we'd be hearing the bells pealing. But I've learned that there's one place in the country that casts these bells, and I think we were behind Yale, some place called Yale University. And so the people that actually make the bells are the installers. So that's coming, and we will have a very nice ceremony at the appropriate time. Bill, thanks for your patience. Come back for a latte at the newest location of the very, very popular SU alumni-owned Rise Up Coffee, which is down on the first floor. Or if you're feeling adventuresome, as I mentioned earlier, do try the Hungry Minds, and Provost Diane Allen came up with a suggestion for naming the cafe Hungry Minds. I think it was a great suggestion. And again, that soon-to-be famous Dr. Janet south of the border burger is what I recommend. You know you've arrived in life, Mr. Chairman, when you have a burger named after you. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't agree more. On a lighter note still, our Dean of the Libraries, who, by the way, years ago as a young faculty member, I taught at Goucher College in Towson. I was there 9 years. Some of you are familiar with Goucher. And I had a student by the name of Beatrice Betancourt, who today, as life would have it, is B. Hardy, Dean of our libraries. It's a small world. And believe it or not, sorry, I know you wouldn't want me to say this, but today is her birthday. That's some birthday present, I'll tell you. That's pretty exciting. And when she interviewed here, I said, you know, we're going to make this library happen. And I said, guess what? You're going to get to take credit for it. You're the dean that came when we got the new library. In all seriousness, this truly is everyone's building. We've come a long way from when the Guerreri children and others were walking through the doors of the campus elementary school, which was right here on this site. And I couldn't be more thrilled to cut the ribbon in just a few minutes. As John Palfrey, a former head of the Harvard Law Library, wrote in his book, Bibliotech, and I quote, "The knowledge that libraries offer and the help that librarians provide are the lifeblood of an informed and engaged republic. Libraries provide public spaces where people can congregate, share their common cultural and scientific heritage, and create knowledge. In the age of Google," he argues, "physical libraries have never been more vital, interesting, and useful places." I couldn't agree more. Fostering synergy, community, and creativity, the Patricia R. Guerreri Academic Commons is the new center of learning on our campus and the new center for community building. It is, as Thomas Jefferson called it, the heart of our academic village. So thank you and welcome. It's very exciting. This is a long-awaited day, and a dream is coming true. So, Alan and family and everyone, thank you so much. At this point, I would like to turn the podium over to Mr. Michael Guerrieri. Thank you. I kept it together. Now you need to introduce Jim Brady. That would be good. He's chairman of the Board of Regents.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? On behalf of our family, I'd like to sincerely thank everyone for taking time this morning to celebrate the ceremonial opening of the Patricia R. Guerrieri Academic Commons. We are especially grateful to those friends in attendance for sharing this occasion with us, because you knew our mother, and it means a lot to us that you're here. Some may wonder just how this gift came about. Our family has a history of supporting Salisbury University that goes back to the 1980s. In 1990, our first major gift was an endowment created to fund scholarships. Since that time, almost 1,000 students have received scholarships totaling somewhere between $1 million and $2 million. The current fund value of that endowment stands at approximately $1,800,000 and should continue to grow and provide scholarships in perpetuity. In 2000, a research endowment was created for the Henson School of Science to help fund new equipment purchases and undergraduate research, also in perpetuity. About 4 years ago, during a visit with President Janet, she discussed several pressing needs SU had at the time. The single greatest need the university had was a new library. From that meeting, the concept of an academic commons was developed. It would be a new center of learning which would bring to campus the most recent technological advances in college education, a place where students would want to gather and learn. It would be more than a library. Together with President Janet, the governor's office, members of our General Assembly, including local son Norm Conway and Adrian Jones, and the University System of Maryland, we were able to make it happen. That is, to get the project approved, funds appropriated, and the design underway. That's when the architects, consultants, university personnel, construction company, and other major donors entered the picture. They worked closely together for over 3 years to give you what you see today, the latest and greatest in technology and environmental engineering, to meet the needs of students, the university, and the community today and into the future. I think it's fair to say to all involved that you have far exceeded any expectations we could have envisioned. We thank you, and I'm certain the students and community will be thanking you for years to come. You know, President Janet, we never put much thought into it either, what the students would actually call this building and how they would differentiate it from the other buildings on campus that bear our family's name. In calling it the PLC, our mom will be honored every time those initials are spoken, yet in a subtle and understated way, since only those who attend this ceremony will have gotten the inside scoop that it stands for the Patty Lou Commons. It'll be sort of an insider thing, since our given name, Patricia Louise, does not appear anywhere. And I like that it's close to TLC, too, something for which mothers are known. Now let me tell you a little bit about our mother and the inspiration for this gift. Born in Maryland in 1930, Patricia Louise Radcliffe grew up in Pikesville and Aberdeen, near Baltimore. Patty Lou, as she was called by those closest to her, attended Maryland State Teachers College today known as Salisbury University. Our mom possessed natural athletic ability. In college, she excelled at sports, especially basketball and field hockey. She would later take up golf, which she became pretty good at too. I can remember times when I was young and she would play catch with me. Baseball, football, frisbee, it didn't matter. She could catch and throw just fine, fingernails and all. You know, it's amazing to think back some 65 years ago, when the campus consisted of only Holloway Hall, that our mother first laid eyes on her father right here. And once he actually met that cute little blonde with a vivacious personality, as she was described in her yearbook, they soon fell in love. In 1953, they got married, got an apartment close to campus, just down Smith Street over here, in the Boulevard Apartments, and started a family. 2 boys, 3 girls, and eventually 9 grandchildren. You see, had it not been for this college, my brother, sisters, me, and all the grandchildren would not be here today. Our family exists today because our parents met and fell in love here. Raising her family was our mom's first priority, and she was selfless in her efforts. We can all remember when she used to pack up the whole family after school ended each year and move us to Ocean City for the summer, taking us to the beach every day until it was time to pack up and go back home to Salisbury to begin a new school year. She made it seem effortless. Now, with many more years of perspective, the thought of doing that twice a year seems the opposite of effortless, maybe even nightmarish. To this day, I sit on the beach in the same area where we used to have so much fun as kids and marvel about that and the countless other things she did for us throughout her life. Her passing in 2010 left a love for her in my heart that continues to grow. It does not diminish with the passage of time. It only grows, along with my admiration, gratitude, and respect. What a comforting, uplifting final surprise she left. Our mother was a woman of many surprises and many talents. She was a great cook, last-minute dinner guests or large groups, no problem. She was an accomplished gardener, 6-foot geranium plant, getting down in the dirt, planting, plant cuttings, transplanting. She did it all. You've heard the expression that someone like this has a green thumb. She had 2 green thumbs. She was an expert seamstress, too. Yes, she could make curtains, clothing, pillow coverings, etc. from scratch on her sewing machine. She was an enthusiastic collector of shells and other things found in the sea. Her 7-point starfish, queen conchs, and many other finds prove that. And when it comes to antiques, well, her antique adventures are just too vast to even address here. She had a true passion for all of these things. She loved learning and was genuinely fascinated by the intricacies of nature and by history. Her boundless curiosity made her a natural researcher. When asked about Patty Lou, our father, a man of few words, gets right to the point. He says, almost as if he still cannot quite believe it, quote, "I never met anyone like her. She could do it all. She was so down to earth, and she could be so funny. I never met anyone like her, ever." End quote. Their love is true and everlasting. And I say is because it is holding hands without a soul in sight, whether on a cold winter's night on the Ocean City boardwalk or on a deserted stretch of beach on a Bahamian island, whether on any boat dock, on any quiet street, in any coastal town up and down the eastern seaboard. It is a hug and a kiss every night when coming home from work before the family sits down to eat dinner. It is many things. It lives on. It gives us strength. It comforts us, and it provides us with the most basic foundation of all, love. And so you have it, the inspiration for our gift. It is a gift of love, pure and simple, the love of a husband for his wife, the love of children for their mother, the love of an only sister, the love of doing things for others. Our mother's life energy, her spirit, and her love live on within our family and within those whose hearts she touched. Although tiny in stature, simple and unassuming in manner, she had a goodness in her heart that she readily shared, and people remember that. People remember her. She was always doing for others. So today and forever, we will remember her. This building stands as a testament to her life and her family's love for her. Now, I told you her mom was a woman of many surprises. She was also lots of fun to be around, too. As a special fun surprise from our family to Salisbury University, we would like to present you with a cutting from our mom's decades-old night-blooming cirrus plant, a living and perpetual remembrance. It's right here. If you can find the right spot for it in this building and care for it with the patience and vigilance, you can celebrate, like we all did, the rare occasions when its fickle yet beautiful and fragrant bloom opens throughout one evening, only to shrivel and die by morning. It is a true wonder of nature which will give all who witness it direct insight into her mom's genuine fascination with nature. She used to get so excited when it began to show signs of blooming, and we sincerely hope that you get the chance to experience that feeling. Once you see it, I'm sure you'll agree that it is worthy of celebration. And when you do, just maybe you'll think of Patty Lou. I'd like to introduce Chairman of the Board of Regents for the University System of Maryland, Jim Brady.
Good morning, and for openers, I'd like the person who did me the disservice of scheduling me to speak after Michael Guerrieri to identify him or herself. Michael, that was fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I would also like to say I listened to the President's remarks very carefully, and I do have two comments, actually. The first one is, I can't tell... There we go. I can't tell you how appropriate it is that a burger containing a spicy avocado would be named after the President. I think there's an air of appropriateness there that I find pretty special. And secondly, she did challenge me and indicate that I never had a burger named after me, but I would tell you that as a Brady, you've never had a bunch named after you. So there, okay. I come here today on behalf of the Board of Regents to celebrate the opening of this fabulous building. And being a very erudite person such as I am, what I am going to tell my fellow regents when I get back is very simple. It's going to be, wow, what a place. I mean, this is an extraordinary facility. It makes so much sense on this campus. When you walked in today, you saw all these students who kind of looked like they had been here forever. You know, they seem so comfortable with all of that, which I think says a lot for how this building was designed and how it's operating. You know, interesting with Salisbury, I first visited Salisbury University 20 years ago. I was a teenager then, obviously, but actually I was the Secretary of Economic Development for the state of Maryland, and I came out as part of my mission of making sure that economic development and higher education were joined at the hip. And I came and I toured the campus, and I was impressed. I was impressed for a lot of reasons, not only because of what was here at that time, but also because of how significant this campus is to this community. And it's not just Salisbury, it's the whole Eastern Shore. It is incredibly important. I had a redux today. Robbie Sheehan took me on a tour, the first one in 20 years, and I was so struck by all of the new buildings that have come online, especially since President Janet has been in office. I mean, it is remarkable. It is remarkable. Now, Janet did tell me today, and I think I heard her correctly, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. She said, Jim, we're done. We're not going to build anything more. It's all over. This is it. This is it. You know, maybe I didn't hear it correctly. I don't know, but that's what I remember. Okay, and so we'll see how that plays out. But you know what's so interesting when we look at a building like this? I mean, the question that always comes up: how do we get here? And how we got here is sitting in this room. Just about everyone who made this happen. The president has done a sensational job in terms of making this place special in the state of Maryland. And it's not just on the Eastern Shore. I think everyone respects so much of what was done. So much of the economic development, so many jobs that have been created out of all of this is incredibly impressive. The Annapolis leadership. We're very privileged to have Delegate Adrienne Jones here today. She is one of the real leaders in Annapolis, and I can tell you from my experience, she cares deeply about education, certainly higher education in particular, and her leadership allows all of this to happen. You also heard the names of a lot of people today who have played a role at Salisbury for a very long time. Norm Conway, who's an old friend of mine, Addie Eckert, and all of the folks from the General Assembly. We couldn't have done this without you. Hopefully you see this facility, you know, as everything that you would want it to be. And finally, the Guerrieri family. You know, what a group. What a group. We have a baseball team here. We have the whole deal. But it is so impressive to me that all of you have come to celebrate this extraordinary event. Obviously, Patty Lou was a fabulous woman. And I had the opportunity to talk to Alan earlier today, and you know, that relationship was so incredibly special, and all of you are so special. And I hope that you look at this building and see it as an appropriate memorial to an extraordinary woman. She really was. And I didn't know her, but I've read a lot, and I know how great she is, and that is absolutely fabulous. So this is a great celebratory event. So many of you are here, and I hope you enjoy taking a spin through the whole facility. It is remarkable, let me tell you. And I did that this morning, went through the whole thing, and it's really great. So congratulations to everyone involved. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Delegate Adrienne Jones, the Speaker Pro Tem in the General Assembly for the House of Delegates, and she will have a few remarks too. So thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I guess it's still morning. I don't have my watch on. There was lots said today, this morning, and where we are now and where we had been. This is my second time in a few months being on Salisbury campus in my role, not so much as Speaker Pro Tem, but as Chair of the Capital Budget on the House Appropriations Committee. I had an opportunity to be part of a dedication of a building of a gentleman who I admire greatly, and that's Norm Conway. And I'm going to ask him to come forward at this time, because during the time as chairman of the Appropriations Committee back in 2012, I believe, and we had discussion, and he talked about the need for this building and the gift from the Guerrieri family, and he's the chairman. And before I get the remainder of my remarks, I just want to thank him, and I want to have him say, if you don't mind, Madam President, because of him and his love of Salisbury, those of us on appropriation got to love Salisbury as well. And you see, I've been here twice within less than 6 months, and I try to get to the campus, but this is a special one, and this special gentleman, I would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate greatly your efforts to make it possible to be here on this special occasion. Salisbury University is not only significant to Salisbury, Wycomico County, but the Eastern Shore and the state of Maryland. We can be very, very proud of this institution, the students who come through it, and the efforts that they make wherever they go for their careers. My wife and I started here in '61, and I think we had 4 buildings. It wasn't hard to get lost. But I will tell you, watching this institution grow and watching its products going into our school systems, not just in Maryland, but across the nation, has made a tremendous impact. And I have been very, very proud to represent this area and also to be a graduate of State Teachers College at Salisbury, as it was when we started, and now Salisbury University. It makes us proud. Thank you.
And usually at ribbon cuttings, I have my trademark remarks that I say. At groundbreakings, I say, may your project be on time and under budget. And at ribbon cuttings, were you on time and under budget? You don't have to answer that right now, okay? But I do have, as Madam President, if you can come forward. And I guess to Gary as well, because it's going to Salisbury University, and thank all your family. Can the family stand up and turn around, and so people can see, turn around, see you around that way. So let's thank them. Now, I just got to meet them. They're a very caring family. I'm very perceptive of good people, and thank you for all you do, and that story was very wonderful on behalf of your mother. This is from the General Assembly. It's an official citation. Be it hereby known to all that sincerest congratulations are offered to Salisbury University in recognition of the dedication of the Patricia A. Guerrieri Academic Commons home of the University Library Collections, the Edward Knabb Research Center, genealogical archives, historical documents, and artifacts. May this building serve as a bastion of knowledge for faculty, staff, and students. And it's presented in behalf of me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just step away from the podium so that we get a good picture.
Now comes the exciting part. It's time to officially cut the ribbon on the Patricia R. Guerrieri Academic Commons. We have numerous ceremonial cuttings planned. Afterward, I'd like to invite all of you to enjoy our open house. Please enjoy self-guided tours and look for anyone wearing a "Got Questions" badge if you need assistance. A fair number of those people with Got Questions badges will actually be here through about the fourth ceremonial cutting, which is with staff in the building. But after that, look for them. Okay. There are light refreshments on each floor. At 12:30, there will be a Making History photo opportunity at the NAB Center, just across the atrium here on the fourth floor, and our staff hopes you will join that. I'll first ask our stage party to join me over here, where the hands up over there. For the first ribbon cutting, we'd like to invite all representatives of the Guerreri Family Foundation, the state and local legislators after that. Thank you. And Jason Curtin will be up here directing traffic for the ceremonial cuttings.
We'll ask now that the Guerreri family please come up and join our stage party for the next cut.
So much. Just step away from the podium so that
It's great. It's a beautiful facility. I haven't even seen all of it yet because it's so big. But I really like the Rise Up coffee place in the bottom. And everything's nice and new. It smells clean in here. It's a beautiful facility.
I like the building. It almost doesn't even look like a library. It looks like a mall to me. It's really nice.
I will love the free printing and the food selection and the nice water fountains and comfortable couches, so I'll be here a lot.
I think I find myself here every day, printing something out or studying. It seems like a really good building, a lot better than the old one. The old one was hot upstairs and all. We reached like 100 degrees. This seems like a lot better, a lot more modern, so I find myself here.